Good Saturday morning to you, Roger at Wuthering Heights. We have a significant winter storm shaping up that'll affect us on Sunday night into the morning hours on Monday with wet snow loading potential, especially along our elevated spine of the Green Mountains and probably points east, a little bit points west. This will be a narrow band, a narrow plume of moisture. Current conditions right now, the setup is that we're seeing a lot of warmer air off to the south and southwest of our region through the mid-Mississippi Valley. Temperatures basically advecting in the 30s and into the 40s back here, and it's associated with this area of low pressure that's tracking up and into Quebec. This will move these temperatures and erase all this cold below zero reading we're seeing right now across a wide area of New England and Vermont with below zero temperatures. These will be moving on out. It'll be a cold day today as an area of higher pressure will sit over the top of us. But eventually, as that area of higher pressure pushes off the coast, the return flow will start to work in, and we have a couple packages of jet stream energy. One in the southern part of the U.S., another will phase with this area, this storm system up to the north of us. The two will kind of get together and spin up an area of low pressure and then move it right along the coast. It looks like right now, latest indications are starting to consolidate in the computer modeling, working it along basically New Hampshire and into Maine. And it puts us basically cold enough for all snow, but a very wet type of snow with temperatures at surface in that range roughly anywhere from about 30 to 35 degrees. And this is very susceptible now for wet snow loading issues. And also, this plume of moisture is going to be pretty healthy. Precipitable water indications are that we can see over an inch with maybe 1.2 inches of total precipitation. So this will be a healthy shot of precipitation working up right along Vermont. It's a very narrow plume, so any deviations with the track of this area of low pressure will have huge issues. And this is valid at 1 o'clock on Saturday, and this area of higher pressure is situated right overhead, keeping us cold. But as that area of higher pressure then tracks off to the east of our region, the return flow around it will start to pick up moisture, and precipitation will start to form off the Florida coast, the Carolinas, and this area, this plume origin is from the subtropics, always a problem while streaming up the eastern seaboard and into cold northern New England. So this is how the storm progresses. You see a narrow band of precipitation there in the eastern parts of North Carolina, eastern South Carolina, moving into Virginia, and this will progress very rapidly to the north. This is valid 1 o'clock on Sunday, so precipitation is already beginning to get into the area around Vermont, southern Vermont, and looks like it'll probably start out as some form of a little bit of wet snow mixed with rain on valley floors, probably wet snow starting out as wet snow in the higher terrain and staying that way, and that'll play a role here. So as the storm system begins to develop, you can see it starts to take shape in the vicinity of New York City or a little bit to the south and east, and then it takes a track inland. These are hefty precipitation amounts you can see right up through Vermont in our narrow state, and then the storm moves off to the north and pulls away, and still some additional snowfall on the backside of that system as we get into basically Monday and into looks like Monday night and even Tuesday. Temperatures with this weather system will play a huge role, so we're going to start looking at the temperatures valid at 1 o'clock this afternoon. You see the Arctic air and the deeper purples here with below zero temperatures. That's going to be moving on out. And as that warmer air begins to push in from the mid-Mississippi Valley, Ohio Valley through New York State. And eventually this is valid at 1 o'clock on Sunday. So you can see now we're basically above the freezing mark here. That's what this signifies here, this white next to the darker purples. And very close to those temperatures, but above the 32-degree isotherm. This is 925 millibars, so a couple thousand feet in the air. But this is not as high as the 850 millibar readings, but you can see the warm air pushes into the region, and this sets the stage for where the snow is going to be deep and accumulate. It looks like by 7 o'clock on Monday morning, we're looking at that 32-degree isotherm line starting to move back into the region as temperatures begin to cool off aloft and following the storm system. So we're looking at a warm push, and that's always problematic with heavy precipitation. and a winter storm. Now the Euro gives us some pretty healthy amounts of snowfall. You can see this sort of stripe of the sort of special zone, if you will, cold enough to snow and cold enough to accumulate. So we're looking at snowfalls probably better than 8 inches. Hard to say whether it's going to be up in the 10 to 14, 16-inch category, but that's what some of the modeling is showing right now with this excessive plume with that tropical or subtropical origin and pushing it into the region. This is total precipitation, and you can see that roughly by about 1 o'clock on Sunday, it starts to move into portions of southern Vermont. Here comes this plume of moisture, moves into southern Vermont and then through the state. So the total precipitation amounts here, you can see, are relatively healthy. In some respects, 1.6, maybe even greater than that, 1.8 to 2 inches in some parts of the state, right up and down the spine of the Green Mountains. And with the temperatures the way they are, we're envisioning the probably elevated areas along associated with the Green Mountains into the heights of the Northeast Kingdom. Here's a look at the temperature. This is again valid on Monday at about 7 p.m. here. So temperatures will have cool, but let's back this up. We can see Sunday high temperatures, almost 40 degrees according to the European model here. And then temperatures gradually make a fall as precipitation arrives. So you're looking at temperatures in the Connecticut River Valley around the mid-30s, even mid-30s around the Berry-Montpelier area, St. Johnsbury, Rutland, as well as the Champlain Valley. Those temperatures come down a few degrees, and this is the recipe for wet snow loading, where temperatures hanging just a little bit above 32 degrees. So our elevations, roughly about 1,500 feet and higher, look to be most susceptible for heavy wet snow loading. And it's going to be a very, very close call with the rate of precipitation falling during Sunday night into the early part of Monday morning. It looks like this is going to be problematic for utilities. This is valid 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so temperatures barely come down. So we start out here on Sunday night. This is valid 7 o'clock Sunday night. You can see temperatures starting to come down just a little bit. And then as we see those temperatures fall, still around 30 degrees at Stowe Morrisville, and then those temperatures make a fall during the afternoon on Monday. This looks like an event that's going to produce. Looking at 6-hour snowfall, so this would be valid during Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Then we see the snow start to show up here. These amounts are greater than 6 inches, so we're talking really Benninton County up into right along the spine of the Green Mountains for the most part. And our next panel shows where the heaviest precipitation starting to exit out of the region by 12Z. That would be valid 7 o'clock on Monday morning. And then the 6-hour panel, still a little bit of snow to follow up, but minor amounts as we head into basically Monday night and into the morning hours on Tuesday. This is the 12-hour snow amounts, snow accumulations, so a little bit better look. Right up and down the spine of the Green Mountains, maybe leaning just a little bit west of the Greens where the colder air will be. I'm also envisioning that the Connecticut River Valley right into the eastern parts of the Northeast Kingdom, Essex County, closest adjacent New Hampshire. You're probably looking at rain here with a rain-snow mix roughly in this particular line, and then all wet snow on the spine of the Greens, and then carried over just a little bit to the west. Now, Champlain Valley does not show up a whole lot in terms of a total accumulation, which we'll show you here in a second. This is the 12-hour panel going back really all of Sunday night. And then this is the leftovers for Monday morning, Sunday night into Monday morning, 12 hours valid back at 1 o'clock on Monday. So you can see this is going to be problematic. This is a healthy shot of wet snow. We're probably talking about snow-to-water ratios less than 10 to 1. Certainly on the valley floor is probably something like 8 to 1. But I think the worst is going to be just a little bit elevated off the valley floors, but along the spine of the Green Mountains, the Berry-Montpelier area, parts of the Northeast Kingdom adjacent to the Green Mountains. And one last shot here showing the total snowfall. This is by 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday night, early Monday morning. That's greater than 6 inches, and then we're talking up around 8 to 12 inches by 7 o'clock on Monday morning. and then beyond that, the conditions continue to accumulate, and we're looking at greater than a foot on our local Green Mountains. Now, this could be exaggerated just a little bit, but I still think it's a significant amount of wet snow loading here. It's just a question how much on the valley floors versus the intermediate hill country and so forth. That's it. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights Consulting.